Hello and welcome to this tutorial on using Fliphunts in an online setting. I'll take you through the basics of a Fliphunt. In this video though, or in this tutorial, I'll assume you know the basics of Flipgrid. If you don't know Flipgrid, then we'll have another tutorial created for you to go over that, or you can search YouTube. Plenty of videos out there showing how to use Flipgrid. And as I talk about a Fliphunt, really that's like a scavenger hunt or a multitask assignment. It could be like a choice board or menu board that you have for your students. In that situation, they could choose which ones they want to answer. Otherwise, you could have them answer all of them. So let's jump in and see exactly what is a Fliphunt and how could I use it with my students. So I'm going to first go to my document. This is going to be our task document, and it's going to have the criteria for our students, the tasks that they will complete. You'll see this is a Fliphunt for Dr. Martin Luther King, and I've got a task title. We put a hashtag in front of each of the words just to make sure it's kind of more noticeable, so to speak, but you don't have to use the pound sign in front of the word to make it a hashtag. You can just put a word there. And then the task description tells your students what they are to do. You'll need to create this like in a Google Doc before you actually go into Flipgrid to create the Fliphunt. This will be the foundation of what they'll be looking at. Flipgrid will be where they're answering or doing these tasks. So let's take a look at a couple of the tasks on this Google Doc that will be used in this Dr. Martin Luther King Fliphunt. You'll see coming down here, dream, hashtag dream. Dr. King is possibly best known for his I Have a Dream speech. Share a dream you have for the world. So after the students are possibly introduced to the I Have a Dream speech, or they watched a video or maybe a class discussion in a traditional setting, now they would go in and say, okay, what is a dream that you have for the world? And when they go into Flipgrid to record their video, they're going to tell about their dream for the world. And for the video title, they will put a hashtag dream. Down, for example, hashtag others, the last one that's on there. Dr. King said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Share one thing that you do to help others. And so students would go into Flipgrid, they would record themselves telling what they did for others, and then they would give a title for their video, hashtag others. That allows you to review it, and it'll also allow them, as they're looking at different videos, to know what was the task that the other student is answering. All right, so when you do a Flipgrid, when you're creating the Fliphunt tasks, think about how many tasks you want them to do. It could be as few as 3 or 4, or it could be as many as maybe 9 or 10, depending on the age of your students and the complexity of the tasks. Again, like I said earlier, you could have it where they complete all the tasks, or you could have it where maybe you have a list of 8 tasks and they choose 4 to complete. Make sure you give the task titles, that way they can identify which task they are responding to in Flipgrid. That will help you as you're grading their Fliphunt responses, and that also will help other students as they're looking at and responding to each other in Flipgrid. All right, once we get the tasks identified, and these can be like this is very social studies oriented, they could be just getting to know you. It could be maybe one for math and having them look around their house for examples of certain angles. Maybe if I'm a 3rd grade teacher and I'm introducing right, acute, and obtuse angles to my students, I may have them go around the house and tell about where they found a right angle in the house. That's maybe one task. Another task might be finding a right angle outside their house, maybe in their backyard. Another task might be finding an acute angle in the kitchen. And so having them kind of do investigative or scavenger hunt type tasks related to the content, but they're going to share that back out in Flipgrid as a video. Now let's take a look at Flipgrid to see, once we've got our task document created, how do we set this up in Flipgrid? So let me jump over there to that. Oop. And we were already on that page. Let me jump to this next tab here. So I've created a grid called Fliphunts. A grid is kind of like a folder. And so in this folder or in this grid called Fliphunts, I will put all of my Fliphunts in there. It just helps me stay organized as the teacher. You'll see I have 4 topics. Each of those topics is a separate Fliphunt that I've assigned to my students or peers if I'm working with teachers. So let's take a look at the Martin Luther King Fliphunt. So I'm going to go click on the pencil icon to edit the Fliphunt so you can see how I've set it up. I gave it a name. I gave it a recording time of about 1 minute and 30 seconds. You might want to make it shorter than that, because if every student took 1 minute and 30 seconds, how long would it take you to go through the videos? So you may make it where they are very quick, 15 or 30-second videos max. Mine, I left 1 minute and 30 seconds. That way, as people are playing and exploring, they have a little bit more time. But I'm also not going in and grading all of these. If I was going in and grading these, I would probably limit the time to 15 or 30 seconds. I'm going to give my description, type it out clearly. If I'm going to have students use specific vocabulary from content areas, I'm going to tell them that in the prompt. Adding a picture is helpful. Just it helps them to know that they are in the right spot, looking at the correct Fliphunt if you happen to have multiple Fliphunts that you create. And here, the topic attachment, that's where I'm going to attach that document that I created right here for Martin Luther King, that Google document. I'm going to take that link and I'm going to share it here. Be careful that you have shared this document so that your students can access it. If you don't share the document, then they won't be able to view it. They don't need edit rights to this document. They just need view rights. And then you have a couple of choices. Do you need to moderate the videos? Most likely you probably don't need to. But I know when I taught middle school, I had one period of students that if I had Flipgrid back then, I would have definitely moderated the videos to review them before they're actually able to be seen by students. But most likely you don't need to moderate that. Do you want to allow students to reply to each other? This is a great way for peer assessment and kind of build rapport in your class and help students add on content to what the other students have said. Do you have a begin and end date specifically? Otherwise, you just leave this to where it never expires, so to speak. Down here in the video features, you want to allow them to type in a video title. That's going to be that task title. In our instance, it's going to be the hashtag. Depending on whether you want to show the view count, sometimes kids get a kick out of that. And you can also use it. So if you have students view each other's videos, you may tell them to view a video that has not been viewed, has a view count of 0, or has a low view count. So it kind of gets everybody seen, so everybody's not looking at just the first video that pops up. Sticky notes are helpful. This allows the students to copy and paste text in like a little post-it note on the monitor where they can type information in or copy and paste information in there, and that will give them clues about what they want to say, or it could be just a script that they will read back to you. So it's kind of a little cheat sheet, cue card type thing, very handy. Allowing them to edit the video is super handy because they may start the video and for the first 3 or 4 seconds, it may be quiet or they may sneeze or something like that. Giving them the ability to edit the video can save you time when you're viewing because they may trim off the first 2 or 3 seconds of silence, which means you're not having to watch 2 or 3 seconds of silence. And if that was on everybody's video, that would add up. Whether you do an attachment link or not, just something you might want to consider. I would definitely say this would be easier if you have students that are older. They may be recording their video, putting it in Google Drive, and then sharing a link here. For elementary students, I would turn this off, and I would say they're going to record while they're in Flipgrid. If it's on, that means they can record outside of Flipgrid, just on their phone or tablet or laptop. And then when they get to Flipgrid, they can give a link to that recording. Do you want students to kind of give thumbs up? You can easily do that. Allows for kind of the social networking pat on the back. And then later, once students get the hang of Flipgrid, you may want to provide like a feedback rubric for this. All right, let's take a look now at the actual flip hunt that I would share with my students. So here I would go to my flip hunt and I would come down to, share. And this is, I'll either copy this web address and give it to them. I can click on the QR code. I can download it, or I can take a little screenshot of it, share that with students if they need to scan to get in, or I can use some of these options here. If I'm already using Google Classroom, this is going to make it very easy, just clicking on this tab right here. And if you are working with people outside of your domain, outside of your school district or campus, however your domain is organized, then you'll probably want topic guests, which is another topic, no pun intended. So we have this link that I've shared with my students. So let's see, what do they see when they go to it? So when my students go to the flip hunt, here they go to the landing page for it. They see the description. If I'm working with ESL, ELL students, struggling readers, early readers, then I'm going to let them know that they can click on this immersive reader icon and it will read the task for them. So here they will just click on that and it will read the words and it'll highlight the words of each. There's several options in here that you can explore to help your students if that's beneficial. So here is the task. Here's the link to that document that I created with those tasks. So when they click this link, it'll open up the Google Doc so they can take a look at those. And then you'll see here we've had different people submit videos. I didn't moderate this, so these are just random people that have jumped on the flip hunt and did something. So as your kids would jump in, they would click on the plus, they would need to log in. Let me log in real quickly here. And if they want the sticky note, let's see. Right up here, it's a sticky note. So they can type, they can move it around. It doesn't have to be inside the little video square that's being recorded. And they can type in here whatever they need to say or read. Your students may want to play with the stickers and the text and everything, which is perfectly fine, but just make sure that you, maybe the first time or two that you have them in Flipgrid doing a flip hunt, you tell them don't do those, otherwise they'll maybe spend all their time playing with that, which they may actually have time now that they may not be in your classroom when they're completing this. So those may be maybe a non-issue. So they're going to click the red video camera icon. It's going to give me a countdown. It's starting to record now, so I'm answering the task, telling about whatever the task is that I'm answering. I have 1 minute and 30 seconds on this timer. Up here in the top right, it's showing me my countdown, so I know how much time I have left. And I'm going to click pause. Yeah, I can redo it if I think, oh, I messed up. I can redo it. Or I can just click next. Now, when I click next, it's going to play the video that I recorded for me. So I can say, yes, I'm happy with it. You don't have to listen to all of it. You can click add more, or we can just go ahead and go to next. Now it's going to ask for a selfie. So this could be a selfie of your students as we traditionally think of it, or it could be if it has to do with maybe a book that they have or something like that. They may hold up the book in front of them and take a picture of the book. It doesn't have to necessarily be a picture of their face. It could be a drawing that they did on a notebook paper, and they're holding up the notebook paper to show the diagram as they tell about maybe showing a Venn diagram explaining the differences between the two items they're comparing, whatever it happens to be. So let me take a selfie real quickly, and we will click next. And here is where I need to, I don't have to worry about my display name, but here is where I need to put in the hashtag, where it's the title. Very important, otherwise it's going to be confusing for you as you look at them and other students. So I'm going to put in hashtag and play like I did the one hashtag dream on that task list. Click submit video and complete. And now my video appears here in the Flipgrid topic area. Alrighty, let me share with you just a couple of more things. We do have some additional resources for you. Got a blog entry that will kind of take you through this step as well, adding adventures to instruction by using a flip hunt. Also, fun with a holiday flip hunt. You could easily repurpose this to make it any holiday. Just use it as kind of a template or idea. Investigating science with Flipgrid. This isn't a flip hunt, but it does show how kind of using that same kind of style, students can investigate or explore science in this topic and then come back and share via Flipgrid to you. And then also on Twitter, if you search for the hashtag flip hunt, or if you just don't put the hashtag on the word flip hunt and just search for flip hunt, and then you want to click on latest, not latest, but you want to click on all. So let me go to that and show you real quickly. When I initially do a search, it's going to come to the top flip hunts. Those are going to be the ones that get the most views, the people who have the most viewers or get the most views. You really want to go to latest and take a look and see what's there, or you might go to photos or videos and see if there are any ideas that you can curate from that list. All righty. Thank you for joining me, and look forward to hearing about your flip hunt experience. I know your kids will love it. And as always, if you want to find out more about these resources that we're sharing, you can go to tcea.org/remote-learning. That's remote-learning. And at TCEA, we are here for you. Have a good day.